Yeah, and also me as a new medical mom, I had to step away and have a baby who had complex medical issues, and the luxury I have to, stay at home and care for her, take her back and forth to therapies and appointments. Those are the blessings you get from being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's very
Don't be
important.
afraid. Don't be afraid. Be fearless. Mm-hmm. Hey there, you all. It's Nikki B here, and welcome back to Futureland365 podcast and radio show, where we highlight Cleveland's bold innovators, entrepreneurs, and creatives. You guys, first of all, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and all of our social media platforms. Also, sign up for our newsletter because you don't want to miss out all of the cool events that we have going on all across our city. You guys, I have an amazing duo. I have amazing guests here on the show today, and I'm excited to have this conversation. I want to jump right in because I know we're going to keep on going, right? So I want to leave enough room for us to talk about all the things that we need to talk about. So you guys, I am not going to waste any more time because I know you're like, who is it? So you guys, excited. We are talking to Tylar Million and Salice Hartfield. You're like, who is that? Well, they are the co-owners of Meleray Wines and other things, but I'm going to let them highlight and share with us what those other things, impactful community things that they're actually doing. So today, you all, we're talking pouring legacy, building community with Meleray Wines. So you guys, welcome to the episode.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're very welcome. And they're sisters, if you didn't know. We don't know Ty and Miss Salice. They are sisters, millionaires.
Hardworking people.
I don't mean that in a way of monetary, right? I could tell by their spirit, the way they were open and engaging when they first walked into the room. Actually, as we were walking into the studio, I seen Ty. We pulled up at the same time. And I said, Ty? She said, oh, hey. She just knew it was me all of a sudden, right? So I almost felt like this kindred spirit thing happening. Yes. So you guys, again, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for your time. And thank you for sharing or about to share and dig into, how you got here and why you're here and what you're doing with all the things that the Lord has bestowed, the gifts and the talents and the skills, right?
Yes.
So let's jump right into it. So Ty, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having us. And it's funny because we've been entrepreneurs and business owners for over a decade. And a lot of people are just now getting to know us and who we are because of Meleray Wine. But we've been doing this for a long time. We have a home health agency that we've been servicing individuals with disabilities, and we have a foundation, Today's Future Foundation, where we give out scholarships to high school kids. We donate. We do volunteer work in the community, and a lot of it just stems from our mother. We have to give a shout out to our mom because she is the pioneer to instill so much greatness inside of us. She did childcare for a long time.
Oh my gosh! You say a long time,
I think like
15
years maybe.
15 years before we pivot and got into home health care. So this is new for us. We've always played behind the scenes. We never wanted to be like out there, but this is a new industry for us. So we are excited to share this experience of Meleray Wine with the world because it is just that, an experience.
I love that.
In every glass.
I would say not long ago, me and the production team, we actually had a glass of the wine, and that's how I was introduced to you all. We were just sitting down having a conversation, kind of brainstorming, and he had wine in the cupboard, and he was like, hey, have you tried this? I'm like, no. He was like, well, did you know? I said, well, no. And so that's how I was introduced to you all. And then to hear the backstory and the things that you all do, in the community. So thank you for sharing that, Ty. That's amazing. I love that. So they're not new. Although she's saying they're new to this industry and things like that. However, they're not new to hard work, dedication, processes, and impacting people and community as well.
Yes.
So, Salice, how about you? What say you?
Well, I think that this new industry, like I said, we're not used to being in the forefront. We very much like to handle business, stay humble, give back to our community, take care of our family. So this is new for us, and we're excited about it. You know, we love wine, but wine tell a story. Yes. It's such a long process to get greatness when you are creating wine. And we named Meleray after our great grandmother. She's the oldest family member we had. And just like wine, she aged well, you know. And it takes
wine. Yeah, you guys didn't know that saying.
It takes time. You know, she was 99. And she was the head of our family. Mm-hmm. She is the reason why my mother was so grounded. She is the roots, you know, to our family. So this came from pure love
and legacy. So this is our contribution to her legacy, because, like Salice said, it's deeper than just a wine bottle or a glass of wine. You know, it's deeply rooted, and the process it takes for greatness, in anything that you do. You know, we don't want to just keep it surface level, but anything, the process it takes to reach greatness, because, you know, going fast, you're not going to get what you want. Mm-hmm. You know, taking your time and really putting the right energy, the right dedication, hard work into it, you're going to receive that.
And it mimics life because it goes through stages. Yes. You know, you have grapes. They might be smooth, they might be rough. You know, then you're crushing them, you're squeezing them. Then they have to sit a really long time. A really long time.
Barrel.
And the older they are, the more valuable, right?
Yeah.
So wine, you know, we chose wine because it mimics the journey of life, and every part of your life isn't going to be smooth. Yes. It's going to go through a journey. It's going to go through the good, the bad, the ups and downs. Yeah. But you always come out more valuable.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that, you know, but coming into something new, right? Mm-hmm. But using all of your experience, all of the legacy, all of the things that were embedded into you all, now you're putting it here, right? I feel as if though it's a culmination of all the things that your grandmother placed in you, or that you all have seen, your mother, father, all those things, right?
Yeah.
And here we are with this. I hear that we started off with just one bottle of one wine, and now we have 4 here.
Yes,
We have 4 bottles here, which is a testament to legacy.
Yes.
That's what legacy is all about. Is about multiplication and manifestation, right? And so I love that so much. So I want to go back, Salice, I know you were saying it was named after your grandmother.
Yeah, my great-grandmother, Meleray.
So, Meleray, and I've been saying it incorrectly, so I stand corrected here. I was saying Meleray. I'm not sure why I was saying that, but I love that. So how did wine come about? You know, I don't want to spend too much time because we definitely have to come back to it, but how did we come up with wine?
You know, we like to drink wine, and I feel like I never really bought a bottle I just absolutely loved.
Really?
And I'll say I've tried many, or maybe them all. But in every bottle, I've never found one for me to say that checked all my boxes. And I think with and Meleray has been brewing for years.
Yes, a long time.
That's how long it takes, you know, to barrel wine and such. So when we thought about a new business adventure, we were thinking about like tequila maybe, and we're like, no, we're not really into that. And wine just made sense for us. It really did.
We reached the moment in our entrepreneurship where we reached the level of like, okay, we would say, okay, we've reached success, and what can we do next? Like, what seeds can we plant so that it can grow and continue to build our legacy and our generational wealth for our kids and our kids' kids. So, so we were just thinking about, what can we do? And we wanted to tackle and challenge ourselves and step into an industry that you don't see a lot of us in there. And like Salice said, because we love wine, we're like, okay, why not?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
And it goes back to our mom. Like, she instilled so much in us where it's like anything is possible. We weren't fearful of failing. We weren't fearful of it just not working out at all. It's like, we're going to try it and see. And we lead our lives with the Holy Spirit. So he leads us every step of the way. And there were times where we were like, you know what, this is not going to work. Let's just cut it.
Let's just stop right here. This is it.
But, God has a way of continuing to just push you one more step, one more step. So when we reach those hurdles and tribulations, we were just like, okay, God was like, okay, here we go. We'll get a phone call or we'll get an email and everything just works out. That's how we ended up getting here. So we started off with 1, now we have 4, and then we have 2 more coming next year.
I'm excited about that. I'm so excited. I'm truly encouraged right now in this moment because, I try my best to let you guys know what's happening with me, what's going on. Maybe not all the details, but I'm kind of at a moment like, what am I doing? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to pause or, take a sabbatical because I need to refresh. But I'm encouraged right now. And I hope that someone listening here is encouraged as well, because I think it's so important to have community. And representation that shares with you there is success. However, there are going to be struggles as well.
A lot of them.
So don't get weary in your well-doing. That struggle is going to happen, but that's where the refinement, that's where the crushing, of the grapes happen so that you can have the wine, and you have to be in new skin for the wine to go into. Absolutely. So each new level requires something different inside of you. So that's what I'm hearing here. And I have goosebumps, you guys.
I think now it's to the point where we embrace it, where when we start something, we're like running towards whatever's going to come. Like, we're just running towards it. Like, tornadoes.
Oh my God.
It's like, let's get it out the way.
That is such a great mindset to adopt. And I found that in this process that something that is ugly in me is that I avoid or I may run. But I'm like, oh no, girl, just rip the Band-Aid. Be brutally honest with yourself so that you can get those things out. And I'm not sure how that is with the wine process. Like, maybe there's some bad grapes you got to get out of the batch for it to be a good bottle. So, okay, you guys, see, we're going to continue, you guys, this conversation, but as you can see, that's exactly what we're talking about today. We're talking legacy, we're talking entrepreneurship, representation, and community. That's pretty much the theme of this conversation today, you guys. And I wanted to give you guys a little highlight in starting off with the wine, because I knew that would get your attention, right? Who doesn't like wine? If you don't, I don't know if I can trust you.
I can't wait for you to try it.
I can't wait either. Oh my gosh, you guys. Well, before we jump any further, you guys, let's go ahead and take a pause and take a break. We'll be right back, you guys.
Come on, y'all. We got some big news, Cleveland. Your favorite community radio station, WOVU 95.9 FM, is now on iHeartRadio. That's right. No matter where you are, you can stream the voice of the village anytime, anywhere. Get all your favorite shows, the hottest community conversations, and the music that moves the culture. Now just a tap away on iHeartRadio app. So whether you're at home, at work, or on the go, take WOVU with you. Search WOVU 95.9 FM on your iHeartRadio app, because our voices matter 24/7, and so does the mission. WOVU 95.9 FM. Our voices united, mission driven 24/7. The voice of the community, a Burton Belcar community radio station.
Hey there, you guys. Nikki B here, and we're back. Futureland365 podcast and radio show. And we have Miss Ty in the building. Hey, girl. And we have Miss Salice in the building as well. I'm so excited that they are here. I'm inspired already, you all. And we've just had just an introduction of the conversation. And these young ladies are definitely movers and shakers and trailblazers within our community. Quite honestly, I think all over the world, although they probably have not said that, but I'm sure they have impacted other individuals, entrepreneurs, within their networks or spaces or far reach. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone from Africa or Europe or all those things are, inspired, or, how now in this social media age and how we're able to, oh, that's my mentor, right? And you don't even know it.
Right.
They're so far away, but you still have access to them.
Yes.
So that's another call to action too. Like, if you see someone online a story that you like, look further into that story, right? That model and see what they do and implement those things that they're doing into your business or your career or the way that you live your life as well. So I'm getting off of this horse over here. So let's talk more about the community engagement and the community aspect that you guys have within your entrepreneurship journey.
Yes.
So let's talk about today's Future Foundation. Is that accurate? Did I say that?
That's correct.
Okay,
That's
I love
correct.
that. Today's Future Foundation. Look, that's a whole word right there because it's today. Looking to the future, but you have to have a solid foundation. Okay. Hello, amen. So let's talk about that. How did that foundation come to fruition? And tell me more.
So today's Future Foundation started off as Today's Future Child Care Center. And it was my mother and my uncle's first child care. And it was in the middle of Cleveland. And it was family and community oriented. And we started there. I was probably about 14, maybe 15 when it started. It was then I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Wow.
And
what part of that where you were like, I want to be an entrepreneur? Was it the hours? Was it the impact?
It was.
Was it the pay?
The money.
Was it the money?
At that age of working, I learned that working, earned me a paycheck. But I also learned that doing a good job kept the money there too.
Oh, that's right.
You know? And I'm naturally compassionate and empathetic, and I love children. I was the oldest of 5. So I was used to little kids running around, and I grew a passion for it really young.
Yeah.
And when I was 17, my mother drove me to Toledo, where I was supposed to go to college. And we got all the way there, and I said, I'm not getting out the car. And she's like, you're getting out this car. I said, no.
What?
I said, no, I'm not getting out the car. I already know what I want to do. I'm going to run that business. I'm going to own that business. I'm going to go back to the daycare.
Girl,
That's what I'm going to do.
Say?
They opened up a second location.
I was crazy. She thought I was crazy then. When I was 19, she had one built from the ground. And I ran it really solely by myself. The youngest administrator in Cleveland.
That's for childcare.
Yeah, and it was community child care center. And we had 2. So yeah, that's where Today's Future started, as a little child care in Cleveland. And many people, in Cleveland may remember that little place. We were a family there. We knew every child there. We knew their family. We knew their grandmother. We celebrated every birthday. We paid light bills, gas bills for parents. We gave milk, bread, cheese. And when parents would have, addictions and things going on and children would be left behind, we've even taken them home. So they did not go to, foster care or anything like that. So when we started the foundation, it was from the roots of the family we built in Cleveland.
And we used it for, and we created, like basketball teams, AU teams. My mom did spelling bees, wrote plays, and we would have the kids from the daycare be a part of all of these activities just outside, because we were in inner city, the Collinwood area. So we were in inner city, a very rough neighborhood. So my mom created the foundation as a escape for that, for kids to kind of introduce them to arts, athletics, and education, to show them like you can dream beyond where you are. So that's, like Lee said, that's where we started.
Yeah, and the Today's Future basketball team, they traveled around and they even got to meet Allen Iverson, and they're grown now, but I know that's probably a story that they still tell. And we are still connected with almost all of those families.
Oh my goodness.
And they're grown with their own kids now. And some of them even say, oh, you guys need to open up a daycare. Because it was a place of safety. You really could drop your kid off and not worry one bit. My mother used to go to the schools of the kids when they were acting up because the parents could not leave work and they would lose their job. And she'll say, hold on, I'm on my way. And she would go to those schools and say, your mother have to work, but I'm here and I'm going to sit here until you act right, and that's the kind of community that built this foundation. And so
fast forward.
Fast forward to now.
Yeah, we're still doing those things and giving back to the community in those ways. Our alma mater, we pay tuition, scholarship. We have a scholarship, Today's Future Foundation scholarship, where we pay the tuition of students who may be struggling, families may be struggling with financially with paying the tuition or school expenses. So we'll cover those families. So last year we would have five families or 5 students, 3 families. In those ways, we volunteer in the community, giving back food to those in the neighborhood. So it's been an amazing experience, and it feels good to give back, and it's just such a natural thing for us where we don't look to get a pat on the back for it or a trophy or a plaque or anything like that. We do it from the kindness of our hearts and genuineness.
And it's what has been instilled in us. It's something that we believe is our duty to do, because, we came from, a household of so many kids and struggles before my mom, had the daycare. And so we know how that feels about, going to the high school that we, do the scholarships from, the high school that we graduated from, and the teachers and the community there that pushed us through during hard times, it's dear to our hearts. So
I'm familiar with the Collinwood area. I actually went to Collinwood myself.
Okay. Wow, nice.
And I grew up in East Cleveland.
Okay.
So I'm very familiar with that area and some of the struggles. And the wins also that happened within that community, but it can be very disheartening, especially if your foundation is cracked and rocky. Yes. It's not stable. So I'm grateful to know that you guys had a hand, just to know you guys and to sit down and actually reflect and talk about the foundation that you had. Yes, there were some struggles, but you had a mom that was like, I am not settling. There's another way. And the Lord has placed something in me that I need to take action now. I need to do something and sustain it. So how do I do that? Right?
Yeah. And it was very difficult. And, we just have to say, even though just being an entrepreneur and owning businesses and giving back to the community, sometimes we get lost in giving back where we would lose sight of our goal and building what we strive to create. And we've had those hurdles where we will get in situations. It's not making sense.
The goal here is to create this, right?
Create stability, create like you said, a solid foundation. stability for our home and our families. And we've had moments where we've gotten lost into giving back to the community so much, where we were looking at the business like, okay, hold on, the business is a little shaky right now. We have to take a step back, or we're going to have to limit how we give it back to, because we can't lose this, because this is taking care of our family, taking care of the community, and so many things. So I think, as like I said, as entrepreneurs, we lose sight sometimes because we're so genuine and we want to give back so much, but you can't save everybody.
Goodness gracious. That definitely plays on someone like myself. And if that's resonating with you, if you're listening on the YouTube channel, say, my heart is pulling. The community and people's hearts pull on my heart.
Yes.
Right. So I ask that you pray for wisdom and meditate for wisdom, and when to,
you have
when
to know
not to.
Yeah.
Or even if that, let me reach out to another resource, right? There's someone else that can help you. I can't right now. I would love to. But here's another resource.
And and that comes with building connections and relationships in the community. When you can't give back, but you outsource different resources to still solve a problem for someone or be there for someone. Like, I can't physically or financially help you, but I know where you can benefit and receive help.
I love that so much. It's wisdom. There's so much wisdom here because there's so much experience. But not only experience, there's legacy. Like, people came before you all that instilled some things within you. So I'm grateful to those individuals, especially your mom. So like, I need to meet Mama.
Yeah, she is amazing. Oh my gosh, she is so amazing. She is so amazing.
And so now, what is your mom? What is her passion? What's her projects? Like, what is she doing now?
We need to know. We have tried many times to retire her.
Well, she's retired.
Technically,
she's technically retired. However, she plays a vital part in our businesses. She is still the engine of our businesses. She will not put it down. She won't stop, because she tells us, she's like, well, if I stop doing it and stop working, well, who's going to make sure y'all are going to be good and take care of you guys? And that's just being a mom. So we try so hard to, like, Ma, it's okay. You don't have to. But she's like, I will not. She's like, she will not.
Sounds
retire.
like Mama CEO.
Yes.
Chris Jenner don't have nothing on Brenda Hartfield.
We just have given up.
We stopped fighting.
Let her do her thing, because Ms. Brenda Hartfield, you've done an amazing job with these beautiful ladies. They're not only beautiful, they're brilliant as well.
Thank you so much.
Lights are shining through.
Thank you.
And clearly, I see that, right? It's like oozing out. The oil is real.
Thank you.
Or should I say they've stayed connected to the grape. I mean, to the vine.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Felt that shine up.
That was a good
one. So you guys, as you know, we first talked about Meleray Wines. I'll get that together. Maybe after I have a glass.
You won't forget it.
Won't forget. And then we also talked about, what we just talked about here is today's Future Foundation.
Yes.
So I think we're going to take another pause here because we have something else that we want to chat about in another venture that they have as well. And I love this too. I absolutely love this.
Thank you.
So you guys, we'll be right back. Nikki B here, Futureland365 podcast and radio show. Hey there, you all. It's Nikki B here, and welcome back to Futureland365 podcast and radio show right here on 95.9 WOVU. You guys, I had to kind of pat my eyes a little bit, have the tears go away. But behind the scenes, or as we're on break, we're having these breakthrough conversations, and they're revealing some of their story with me and their entrepreneurial journey and their personal journeys as well. And when I say a solid foundation, but also I'm really inspired about community. And I don't mean outside, like strangers, right? The community within them as sisters, but also as a family, right? They were just sharing a story with me, and it was pulling on my heartstrings, you all. But this has been an amazing conversation, and we're going to talk more about another venture that they do so well with compassion, with community, and with care. And with that is their healthcare. So it's community care, convenient care, home health. There we go. Convenient care, home health. So Ty, tell me a little bit about this venture here, and how did this get started?
We started this about 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago. I had just graduated college, actually, and Salice was already working in the industry. And then one day she just said, let's start a home health agency. And I was working juvenile court at the time. I was in the HR department, and I was like, okay, let's do it. And then we did all the paperwork. It took us about maybe 8 months to get all our paperwork and things together. And then fast forward, we submitted an application, we got certified. So maybe a year after that, I was still working full time. And we were doing the business. I was working full time and doing the business. And she came to me and she said, this business is not going to go and grow the way it's supposed to until you quit your job. And I was stuck in that American dream mindset where it's like, yes, I was like, hold on, wait. And I was pregnant at the time with my youngest son. And I was like, girl, you know how much it costs to have a baby? Like, it's expensive. I need my health care. And she's like, I'm telling you, you have to quit your job. You have to quit your job. And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna quit. So I just kept putting it off. And every time she bring it up, I would just ignore the conversation. And then, I had my son. I went on maternity leave. She had the conversation with me again. Like, I just make sure you're not going back to work. And then I made the decision to not go back. But Convenient Care Home Health is a home health agency where we service individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities. It is a pivot from childcare, from what my mom started. And it's dear to our hearts. Same way we care for those children, we care for individuals. And it can range from children to adults. We have a wide range of individuals that we service. But it's dear to our hearts, and we build our community with our clients, our individuals, and even our staff. Since we started that, we've never had Christmas and Thanksgiving as a family anymore. They became our family. So we have it with all of our staff, our individuals, and we've been lucky to have sustained our business and grow our business from there for so long.
Wow.
That's been a blessing.
That's amazing to transition and to trust your sister. Like, girl, what?
I know. It was so hard.
What do you mean? And knowing Salice now and her being so calm, and you're like, okay, she sounds too calm. Like, she's adamant, she's sure. Like, okay, sister, I'm not going back.
And a year after I made that decision, we made the most money we've ever made.
Wow.
And we retired our mom.
It's the obedience for me. Not knowing, not really being sure. Right? She was like, I'm just gonna go head in first. So if there's something that's been placed on your heart, I'm not saying do it right away. Like, just start cold turkey, do the research, right? File the paperwork that's necessary. Reach out to these guys. I'm sure they're open to saying, hey, this is what you need to do, right? And that's exactly what we do right here on Futureland365 is we have these conversations all year round, 365, right? But we also want to make sure that you connect the dots, right? And not go squiggly, right?
Yes.
The point of having a mentor is to shorten that path so that you get there faster.
And you definitely have to prepare yourself. Like, be prepared. And they say, like, you just jump and take a leap of faith. Yeah, you do that. But also prepare yourself. And when we were having those conversations, like, I knew I was going to do it, but I had to make sure, like, I was mentally prepared, one. And then I was pregnant, too, at the same time. So I was just like, I want to make sure that I have everything set for myself. And I wanted to make sure that my job paid for that.
Right.
Before I could step away. And I, again, the Holy Spirit, God he puts it on your heart. It's like, okay, you're not going back. It's time. And I was comfortable with that. I didn't regret it. I didn't have any second thoughts about it. And that changed my life.
Goodness gracious. This word just keeps coming up, being rooted on firm foundation.
And you have to have people like that believe in what you believe in, and you have to have people that balance you out. I am the person that jump and then look back to see if I have a parachute. I'm like, I'm gonna just try it. Because you never know.
You never know.
It might make you a millionaire,
Right.
And Tyler is like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it, but I gotta do A first, then B, then C, and then I need to peek out the window to see if D is already there.
So that's how we balance each other out, because Salice is a visionary in her own right, and she'll come up with these ideas like, we're gonna do this, and I'm like, okay, and then I know at that point I need to put an infrastructure together and put a plan in action, because once she says she's going to do something or we should do something, it's like, I'm not stopping. We're doing it. So I'll put the plan together and I'll give it to her. She's like, okay, well, that'll work for me too.
I call Tyler my bank, because I'm like, I need her to tell me, okay, this is what I want to do.
Oh my God.
I want to do it right now, but I need you to let me know if I can do this.
Scripture tells us to count up the cost and to surround yourself with good counsel.
Sometimes she listens, sometimes she don't.
And it's like, I see the vision. Do you? But see, it's like, I did it, and here's the result. So I told you.
You have a winning record.
That's so good. And I love that. So Salice, tell us about, starting this venture here. Ty was just telling us that you were already in this field. So what were you doing? And
oh my goodness,
how did the idea strike you?
I
think you might have seen they're not doing right. So I know we can do better and with more compassion. And
in my 37 years, I've been an entrepreneur of many things. And at the time, I owned a hair salon. I did not have a hair license. And although everyone, was saying, oh, you can't own a hair salon without having a hair license, I'm thinking, of course you can. If you have the money to own a business, you just hire the people to run it, is what I was thinking at such a young age. And I think I was maybe, 21, 22, and I owned a hair salon, and the hair business had changed. A lot of people were getting their hair done in the house, in the kitchen. They didn't want to pay the price of coming into the salon. So I'm like, okay, I have to figure this out to balance this business. And so one of my stylists there, who was renting out a booth, was working for this home health agency, and she would bring her clients in the salon, and they were just the sweetest thing. And I would just let them just do little stuff, and they would come and paint my nails, or they were just so sweet. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I would love to do that. And we're also sisters of a brother who suffers severely from mental illness. So it was something that we were familiar with. And so I started working for this place, and I fell in love with caring for people who had, developmental, intellectual disabilities. And I learned so much from them. And usually, it might be the other way around. Maybe they learned a lot from me, but I learned a lot from them. And I thought, man, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right. I want to make this, a business. I want to I want to take this so much further. I want to bring so much to these people, to this community that deserves so much. And I did my research, and at the time they were like, oh, you need 4 years of experience. And I only had 2 at the time. And I'm thinking, darn, I got to work here 2 more years. But I did, along with owning the other businesses that I had. Also had an in-home childcare center at the time as well. While I waited those 2 years out, and 2 years to the day, I was like, see ya. Thank you, but goodbye.
Yeah, having a plan is so important. Like
it is.
Talking about, yes, you have this grand vision, but there are also steps and tasks that you need to complete or check. Or I'm thinking of Mario Brothers, how you get the coins or kill the little things to get to the next level. And it sounds like that's exactly what you guys did here.
There's so many sacrifices you have to make. And being an entrepreneur and making a decision to be an entrepreneur, a lot of people want to take the quick route. And they don't want to take a step back and say, I have to work this job that I absolutely do not like. I'm uncomfortable. I'm not happy. But that's the sacrifice sometimes you have to make to get to where you want to go. And we understand, like, it's temporary. It's not a long-term thing. It's a temporary moment in your life that's going to change the trajectory of your life and where you want to go in your dreams. So we understand that wholeheartedly to make those we make sacrifices to this day, every single day. Every single day.
And every moment counts. Every struggle has a meaning. You have to embrace it all, even when you're at the lowest point and you have no idea where to go from there. Embrace that moment, because that's where you figure it out. You figure it out when you have to sit still.
I just found out that, we all here learning, right? We know about learning and things like that. But it was pointed out to me, like in a visual, how you have a ball of yarn. And then you kind of straighten out that yarn or kind of pulling one out at a time, or you start to crochet something. So it's the ball of yarn. That's the actual learning. That's the frustration. That's the good part.
I
was like, why is that the good part? I want it to be sweet. I want it to be simple. I want it to be right now, right here. I don't want the frustration. I don't want the bitter. I don't want any of those things. I don't want to go through it. Okay. I just want to get to it. Right. But we have to go through it again, like we talked about before. That's the refinement. And that's the time where we actually, the tools in the valley, which the valley is the good part too, right? Not the mountaintop. That's where the streams, the meadows, the green grass,
the education is.
Education is, right? And we take those things in the valley, right? So when we get to the top, we have it in our backpacks and all those things. So
you always remember how to survive.
You always remember. And like you were talking about earlier, Salice, you like, hey, I remember that storm we got through there. So why are we tripping now? Why are we afraid now? But it's our human ways, right? And that's why we have those moments so that we can stay close to him and remember what he has done, because it wasn't us that did it, because if so, we'll still be so that's amazing. This story is just absolutely phenomenal. There's still something, there's so many other things that I want to talk about and we didn't get to, but that's okay, because it wasn't meant for us to talk about those things today. But what we did talk about today is for sure community, right? We talked about representation, we talked about entrepreneurship, and we talked about research, right? Do your research and the sacrifice, right? Those things, you need those things and to prepare. So I'll ask you guys a couple more questions here, maybe 3. I don't know, you guys. I never know how many questions. So I'll ask this for you guys. So how can people reach out to you if they want to utilize one of your services or in need of one of your services? How can they reach out to you? You're like, you go, no, I go.
So we are in the world of social media. So we have social media pages for all of our businesses. Convenient Care Ohio. On Instagram at Convenient Care Ohio, on Instagram at Today's Future Foundation, and at Meleray Winery. You can also follow us at Tylar Million Official on Instagram, and then in my bio I have links to all of our businesses, and then the websites are also on those businesses. So if you want to get some information about the donation to the Today's Future Foundation, information about the home health agency, or if you want to get information and purchase the wine, the link is in the bios.
Yes, and also Facebook for Convenient Care Home Health. I always direct people there because it goes from the beginning of time, of who we are, and what we've built. So you can go back 10 years back to see all that we've done in the community and with the people that we service.
I love that so much. And last and final thing, Ty, you kind of touched on this a little bit about advice or what people should do or, learn from your experience. So Salice, we'll start with you first. What advice would you give to an entrepreneur or someone that was similar to you at 14 years old, know what you wanted to do? What would you give advice to that 14-year-old person that's listening, or 16, even 19, right?
I would say go for it, no matter what. And understand that failure doesn't mean it's over. It just means that you have to go and redo your blueprint. And that is the most important fact in being an entrepreneur, because you're going to bump your head so many times, but you're also rebuilding, rebranding, and creating who you are as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. So all of that failure, what you thought was failure, has created who you become. So go for it.
Go for it. Ty, what about you?
See, our journeys were different. So I was in the workforce. So my advice would be, if there's anyone in the workforce that feels like they cannot achieve their dreams or scared to step out on faith to pursue their dreams, I would say just do it. Put a plan together and do it, because sometimes we get caught up in the world of working for somebody else. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But if you're an individual who has dreams, who wants financial freedom, who wants to build legacy and generational wealth for your family, you have to step outside of your comfort zone to do that. And that was my journey. And I thank God for my sister for pushing me to step outside of my comfort zone, to see the financial freedom, the freedom that my children have, the stability that we have. So I would just say to anybody out there to just, like Salice said, go for it, put a plan together and map out how you're going to do it, and just do it.
Don't put your dreams in a microwave. Fast doesn't always mean success. Sometimes just let it cook.
And there's freedom. The freedom, it doesn't always have to be financial. Just the freedom of, as a mom, a full-time mom and a business owner, the freedom that I have to always be there for my children. My children don't never have to worry about if mommy's not going to be at the school, or if she's not going to pick me up. So that right there is wealth within itself for me. And I love that, to give them that environment, because in the beginning, we didn't have that before our mother started the daycare. So there's beauty in that.
And also me as a new medical mom, I had to step away and have a baby who had complex medical issues, and the luxury I have to, stay at home and care for her, take her back and forth to therapies and appointments. Those are the blessings you get from being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So that's very
Don't be
important.
afraid.
Don't be afraid. Be fearless.
Yes.
Yeah. I love this. Usually this is the point where I add my 2 cents or give some key takeaways, but you all they laid it out for you. They dropped some gems, and I hope that you're like this, right? Or writing notes or listen to the playback. That's the blessing of this being a podcast and a radio show. If you miss it on the radio show, right? If you miss it right here, you have the opportunity to listen to it on our YouTube channel, as well as other streaming platforms. So you guys, I'll be listening to this playback, and that's rare because I always have my own notes here. But I'll be listening because definitely we were led by the Spirit in this conversation. Yes. When I tell you, maybe a third of what. So I'm grateful to be able to be present, to be in proximity with these beautiful, brilliant women who are entrepreneurs, and representation matters, right? Yes, I have goosebumps after this conversation, and for sure after this we'll be having a cheers. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, that's it. That's all. Nikki B here. You got Ty and you got Salice in the building as well. Yeah. So excited, you guys. Well, that's it. That's all. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you.